Good morning, everybody. We are going to resume game, and we're going to see if we can make it to boss rush. I started out with Sticky Sack because of Eden's Blessing last. That's right, it also gives me spiders, which is kinda nice. I got half a blue heart too, what the hell? And I just got tagged for that half a blue heart. I've had more blue heart drops honestly. I think I like this idea more, especially for early game. I think it's a better idea. Fuck, except we got schooled. I would love to get school bag. School bag would be an amazing item to get. We're gonna not use magic fingers yet. Oh, you prick. He tagged me. Walking over his frickin' creep, too. Damn. Alright, well, we don't get school bag, but I'm gonna keep magic fingers, because it's gonna help me kill stuff. But I think how it's gonna work is I'm gonna need to have at least 20 coins. I think that's how I'm gonna have to like play it. I'm gonna need to have 20 coins because I do want to use the shop, because the shop can have very good items in it. So I think I need to stop getting hit. I need to stop getting hit first. Hello? Spider's just sitting there, just like... Ooh. If I had a bomb, this would be amazing. Nice, nice. Alright. Man, I need a key or some shit to, like... Hello, Valkyrie! I haven't seen you in ages. How are you doing? You should not be in ads. I have turned pre-roll ads off. Thingy friend is kind of nice, actually. Kind of a fun little... Yeah, you shouldn't be getting ads, because I've turned pre-roll ads off. So I'm not too sure why you're getting them. I apologize that you're getting them, because that is something that I've actually been actively trying to make sure that people don't need to deal with. It was only 30 seconds of ads. That's even weirder. My son came in here, said coffee, and then drank from my cup. Honestly, yeah, respect. Can't even be mad at that. Speaking of which, I have my coffee. Someone in chat a little while ago had the audacity to tell me that my coffee cup was a bowl. I was very mad at them. The irony is most definitely a fucking tiny bowl. Because it's based off of a Japanese teacup. Like, yay, he's drinking from a cup without spilling, but also, that's my coffee. Ah, the perks of being a parent, where you're like, I want to, like, be happy about your successes, but also, damn you, you rat bastard. Oh, shit! These are, like, I want to take Mom's Pearl, but this is a way for infinite bombs. I can get infinite bombs. Lily agrees, lol. Yeah, no. That's just... It's funny. You're like, I'm so happy that you're doing the thing, but also, you rat bastard, that's my coffee. Since when could he... Dude, the little tentacle guy is, like, busted. He can stop a boss? Like, easily? Stem cells. I mean, we'll go and look in the devil deep. Fuck it. That's actually, pretty nice. I concur. I enjoy... Wow! Who is the tentacle? It's this guy right here! Worm friend. Oh, shit. I did not know about the Necromancer transformation. What the fuck is the Necromancer transformation? Is it where you become a vampire? Please, someone laugh at my joke. My joke was funny. That seems like a rather difficult thing to do. Okay, so Magic Fingers is actually quite useful, so I'm like very tempted to keep it. Oh, I gotta take Book of Revs. That's just free health. Book of Revs is just free health. We gotta take it. And angelic. Ooh. I really wish I hadn't taken the devil deal. Angelic feather is super good. Okay. Item descriptions are... Oh, it's just not turning on because I'm in a fight right now and it doesn't want to block my... How's everyone's morning / day going, though? Damn, I really wish I had angel deals now. Terribly, I'm sick and need to do schoolwork. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. Schoolwork is important, though, Valkyrie. Ow. As much as people always seem to think that, like, ooh, range up, double range up, I'm still sick, too. I guessed that, because normally you're streaming by now. I'm also super happy that, Chaotic Angel and, Lemon Bubba, or Lemon Gooba, what's their name? Lemon Bubba. They followed yesterday. That was really, really nice of them. After my raid. Very happy that they did that. I hope I get to see them in here one of these times. Ow! Rat bastard blew up. I didn't ask for no kamikaze shit. Yeah, we should go check out the store health. What? Did I fucking get censored? Where? Oh, no. Valkyrie, yeah, Valkyrie just censors themselves. It's quite endearing, actually. I find it quite endearing. I like it. It honestly sometimes lends more weight to what they're saying. In a weird kind of way. Ah, yes, these gross little bloated bastards. So... I have a fun random question for everybody. We all know about the fossilized remains that they found on Mars of bacteria. And Moon, I think you were telling me that they found actual bacterial life on Mars now? Was that what you were telling me? I haven't done a huge amount of research, so don't at me. Ouch. So, that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for possible, speciation. So, like, that means that could show that, like, the panspermia hypothesis. Oh, and Earth has it has a sort of second moon. Let's not get too up in arms about that. It has a sort of second moon. I know people are going to be unhappy with me saying that. It sort of has a moon. We have a second lunar stellar body. Or a stellar lunar body. Sure. But we don't actually have a proper second moon. That's what a lot of people don't realize is, like, moons need to actually be like a small planetoid. What we have right now is not a small planetoid. It is essentially an asteroid. Anyway, what I was trying to get at with with the possibility of there being life on Mars is that lends credence to, like, two different theories, both being, like, the panspermia hypothesis or the, oh, fuck, I can't remember what the actual hypothesis is called, but it's basically, like, it's essentially the jump ship hypothesis, where, like, humans might, in the younger years of our star, or our sun, might have lived on Mars and had an advanced enough civilization to travel to Earth and then slowly colonize and populate it. Problem is we would remember, like there would be some... That's the thing. Here's something that always baffles me. Is people are like, we might have come from the stars. We might have come from a different, you know, planet or whatever. But here's the thing. A population coming, a sufficiently advanced population would have a way of recording data to state that they had been somewhere unless they lost all of their ways to create that data. But even with that, there are a lot of things that happen in, like, pre-Ice Age and post-Ice Age that would state that you would still see some form of architecture or, like, some sort of, like, physical understanding that shows Horizon Zero Dawn type shit. Yeah, like, there would be some sort of advanced machinery still lying around somewhere. And there's none, right? There isn't even advanced machinery that like, got us here, right? So, like, it's much more likely that it's a panspermia event where if, like, humans did exist on Mars at some point in time, they couldn't colonize Earth. But they gave Earth the chemicals to create life from their understanding, right? And they could have seeded life on Earth with very, very, very basic life forms. Like, I'm talking, like, barely single-celled organism sort of life. Which is really cool, because then we would actually have absolutely... The only thing that we would have in common with a different, like, life form that, let's say, came from Mars is we would share some sort of genetic code. Minutely, albeit very, very minutely. But we would share some sort of, like, genetic code with whatever life is found on Mars. And here's the cool thing. There's a possibility that it's the other way around. So let's say some of the first land rovers that went to Mars had some microscopic... I don't like this item, but I will use it because it's tears up. Let's say that Land Rover had some sort of microorganism extremophile that could live on Mars unknowingly, and let's say it just happened to also be on the Land Rover by mistake, because at the time that the first Land Rover went up there, we literally couldn't test for it. That is a way that we could have accidentally seeded life to Mars. Which is fascinating to me just as much. Now, it would take billions, and I mean billions of years, and multiple mass extinction events for Mars to have an ecosystem that would be considered, like, viable for life, even basic life. But it's still super fascinating. Like, panspermia events and panspermia hypothesis is probably one of the most intriguing scientific things that I've ever read about. I love it so much. It's such a cool concept that life can be seeded across, like, billions of light years just by a fucking rock traveling at, you know, like 1/100th the speed of light. Just slowly fucking tumbling across the world. Look at that. Free bombs. Like, it's such a wild theory. But it's also, like, strangely one of the more feasible ones. Like, one of the other things that always makes me laugh is, like, everyone talks about how, like, life needs water. And that's not true. Life does not actually need water to evolve. It's actually one of the basic... It's one of the main things that actually gets talked about in, Project Hail Mary. I don't know if anyone here has read the book Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. He's the same guy that wrote The Martian. Absolutely fascinating book and fascinating theory. Oh, that's some dumb bullshit. What the fuck does Arrow Walk do? That's the first time I've ever picked that card up. What the fuck does Arrow Walk do? Oh my god, I'm so far behind the boss rush. Ooh, that's nice. Double D6 shard? Oh, baby. Yeah, but I'd like to try and do it organically. I would really like to try and do it organically a couple times first, and then, yeah, I'll just do that if it's really becoming a problem. That's kind of my thing, is, like, I will try and do it as organically as possible, and, like, yeah, sure, eventually it'll just become too much, and it's like, alright, we'll just use mom. Yeah. But I would like to try and do it organically. But, like, if you think about it, like, our closest, star that could support life is in Alpha Centauri, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I know stuff about space, but I don't really... Yeah, sure, shoot, ask questions, go. I'm in that kind of mood. I'm in the ask questions and talk about science mood, so... Please, shoot off. Oh, that's nice. I have enough keys to actually make Guppy's tail work. Am excited. It's more historical and archaeological than science. Dude, shoot. I don't care. Archaeology is still a science. It's a different kind of science that involves a lot of chemistry and carbon dating, but it's still science. So shoot. I love it. Let's hear it. I also need to, like, state, I by no means am an actual scientist. I just learn things and obsess over them. So, everything I say, please take with a grain of salt. I don't know things. I try to know things, but I don't know them. Also, I know they're not here. Sorry, I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to replay the 2 alerts for Chaotic Angel and Lemon. So it's actually on record. So thank you to... Thank you, Chaotic Angel and Lemon Bubba, for the follow. I'm just putting it on here now, so it's officially seen by everybody. Okay, but in my religious education class, we learned about various archaeological discoveries that proved that various biblical figures or places did actually exist, and I don't understand if that's part of the Bible that people question, or the historicalness on the existence of God and that Jesus is God. So, okay, so here's the thing. Do you want to know my honest opinion on a lot of things to do with, like, archaeological digs and religion and science working together? So one of the biggest things that... So, you can find an archaeological site and go, this is something from the Bible. True, you probably can. Okay? Right? However, the difference is in context. Right? So one thing, and it's part of the reason that a lot of religious, like, scientists that are also religious kind of get, like, not shunned in the community, but kind of, like, questioned a lot harder in the scientific community, is because a lot of science is based around finding things and going, oh, yes, this is the thing. But then, so in a lot of religious studies, they'll go, this is the outcome I'm looking for, and then they'll tailor their studies to that outcome, rather than letting the outcome tailor what the answer, what they already know the answer they want, so they tailor their study to give them that answer, essentially. And it's common not just in like religious practice, like with religious practice. Nope, you're good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, I just DC'd. Give me a second. Okay, are we back? We back? We're good? Jesus. Back now from ads? Alright, cool. So, here's the thing. It's not just a religious practice. It's also something that happens, like, every day with, like, regular ass... with regular ass science. Scientists will go in with an assumption, and that assumption will destroy the actual research that they're doing because they tailor the research to the assumption rather than not going in with an assumption and letting the research speak for itself. So that's the thing. A lot of the times, especially with religion being involved in science, is a lot of the times people will go, oh, this proves like part of my religion. Okay, but what part of it are you actually proving? Right? Like, what part of the religion are you actually proving? Or have you just ignored certain facts that don't agree with what you're looking for? And as much as I hate to say it, it is actually an extremely common practice in almost all...
Hydrate or dihydrate.
I will hydrate in 2 seconds, Turkish, because I am out of coffee. I will go and grab my water right now. I have the water. Alrighty, and I hydrated. Alright, so like that's the biggest problem with a lot of research done by religious like companies or religious scientists.
Shut up!
Everything like that. Panda's not even here. Why are you getting mad at him? But it is one of the larger problems with scientific study in general done by religious scientific bodies, is they tend to prove their own assumptions. So I just wanted to see what it did. Oh yeah, it just tells Panda to shut up. I like clicking buttons. Buttons are fun, especially when they're big and red. Anyway, so like that's one of the problems that I have with any sort of thing like that, especially like archaeological finds. You can cite all the archaeological digs and sites and everything where they found, quote unquote, you know, where the Holy Grail was, or where Noah built the Ark, or anything like that. But like science just doesn't like support a lot of that stuff. Like the hard science just doesn't support the ability to do that, because you're already going in with the assumption that God exists. Right? And that's not a problem. It's not a problem for someone to believe that God exists. Not in the slightest. The problem is that you're going into the scientific portion, which is based on observation, that you're going to be able to observe something. And sometimes you're not able to observe that fact. And that's also part of religion. Like, part of religion is faith, where you can't observe things. So it's kind of counterintuitive. And that's kind of that's the biggest thing with like citing archaeological things. Right? You can cite them all you want, but I'd want to see the paper. So we learned about Pontius Pilate Stone, Uzzah tablet, and the archaeology happening at what they believe to be Shiloh. I don't know any of those words. I apologize, like, a lot. I don't know any of those words. And sure, like, what they're talking about could very possibly be, you know, historical things. But here's the thing. Those archaeological things and those historical things do not prove... Yeah, we didn't do it. We were 7 minutes off, so we gotta start over. Those things don't prove the exist... Oh, fuck, that's right. I have to do the keeper. Fuck, I thought I was done. Well, we're taking Libra. Okay, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Valkyrie. Those people could very well have existed. 110%. Those people could have existed. Very easily. It's very possible that those people existed. The difference is... Did they do what they did because Jesus was... Like, I 110% believe Jesus was a real person. I believe he was a real man. My problem is that we don't have any sort of, like... We don't have any sort of concrete evidence from the time period where they say Jesus existed. That is my problem with all of it. Okay? We have thoughts, and we understand that, you know, Jesus was probably a real person because everyone fucking talked about him. Right? But the problem is, we don't have for lack of a better term, we don't have, like, written records of the time period when Jesus was alive. All of the written records that state that Jesus was a person are from after his death. Right? And, like, maybe something from, like, the Library of Alexandria would have said something, but the Romans decided they didn't like that, so... Also, can I just say, the Library of Alexandria is, like, one of the most aggravating things ever. I'm sorry, what happened to the Library of Alexandria is just fucking horrendous. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, point being, I understand what a lot of people are talking about when they teach that stuff, when they teach that, you know, all these archaeological sites, like, prove the existence of God or whatever. Prove that Jesus was a person. That's great. They do prove that Jesus was a person. They don't prove that he also wasn't just a cult leader. And I'm not saying anything against religion in general, right? But a lot of true religions start out as like what we consider like a true religion, start out as like literally a cult. It's just a benevolent leader that's, like, speaking the word of, like, quote-unquote God or gods or whatever crazy spiritual thing that they've decided is their mantra to the masses, and the masses agree with it. The difference between a cult and a religion is literally the amount of followers. And that's not being an asshole. That's just like literal fact. The difference between a cult and a religion is literally the amount of followers that it has. Right? So I do totally believe that Jesus was a real person, and I believe that he was probably crucified, and I do believe that, like, any of the archaeological stuff that we find oh yeah, no, it's a seriously big problem. And that's the thing. Like, that is literally a cult. Like, it is bordering on, like, a oh, baby. We get boss rush no matter what. Hallelujah. We can take our time. We can try and game the system. Oh, baby, I am happy about that. And, oh, that's yeah. That's good. Hello. We got birthright. There's just a free item there. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna get that free item. Give me leprosy. You're tearing me apart, boys. You know, one thing that I wish Birthright did instead is it made all red hearts able to be picked up for only half a blue heart. Does that make sense? So, like, it didn't matter the size.